What's going on, my man?
All right. How are things on your end?
Good. Good start to the week. I'm sure we'll get into Super Bowl at the end of the episode, but dodged a major bullet there.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Having three brother-in-laws who are Patriots fans is quite the conundrum.
So I didn't get that as much anymore, not being with people from the area or so. So I
Yeah.
was not even sympathetic. I was like agnostic to the Patriots. I really didn't have hate. But if they had won, it probably would have been different.
Well, let's get to it in the end. I have thoughts.
All right.
How you surviving winter? You shoveling? Just trying to stay
Yeah.
warm?
No, we're cool. Yeah, we went away to the Poconos this past weekend just because the Northeast in Jersey wasn't cold enough. So we had to go.
You go skiing or do you go to Great Wolf? Do you know? Have you
It
heard
was
about Great
like
Wolf?
honestly, I wouldn't have gone skiing anyway, but there is a mountain at the resort that we went to. Yeah, it was just too cold. Like you couldn't be. Your face was frozen, just standing there.
I'll walk to the train and my beer will still be wet from the shower, and I'll have icicles
Oh,
by the time
that's madness. Yeah.
it's I'm like feeling the icicles in my beard as I walk onto the train.
When I used to do the walks in the city on really cold days, I would do like full hat, but I would also get my scarf around my neck and around my face.
You just like a
I just
Bedouin in
this.
the Gobi Desert.
Actually, now that you mention it, I think I wore sunglasses too to keep the wind from hitting my eyes.
Oh yeah, I know. Cam used to do it all the time. Cam would always walk around with sunglasses on.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think I was fully covered.
All right, let's cover this week's book, Power of the Dog by Don Winslow. A quick spoiler-free synopsis. Power of the Dog by Don Winslow is a sweeping crime epic about the birth and evolution of the modern drug war, beginning in the 1970s and spanning decades across Mexico, the United States, and Central America. At the center of the story is Art Keller, a determined DEA agent who becomes locked in a long, personal, and increasingly brutal conflict with a rising Mexican drug lord. As the cartel grows in power, Keller's pursuit pulls him deeper into the world of politics, money, religion, and violence. Can I
If
start?
this, go ahead.
You always give your little, but I love this book. I've read this book before. I think this is a really fun read. I mean, the topic and the subject matter is grisly to say the least.
Yeah.
It follows it's probably some of the best characters that we've read in many books. Nora's good. Um,
Yeah,
Callan's good.
give me the four that you're
Don's
talking about.
good.
The four that you're talking about is Nora, Art, the Irish guy,
Callan
and the bad guy, and
and Adam.
Aiden.
Adon.
Okay. Who are you saying?
Adon Barrera.
Oh, Adon, yeah, Aiden, Adon,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. What
Um,
do you think?
if this, let me ask you a question because this is what I was thinking of. Let's say that they made a TV series out of this, just this one book, even though there's three books, right?
Yeah,
One TV series.
the movie rights are acquired.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Even that. But let's say it's a TV series. How many seasons do you think you need to cover this for first book?
A lot is on the cutting room floor.
A lot. This
The
book
whole
had a lot. It was so much.
Yeah, but
It was so much.
this book is a steak dinner where you got everyone at the table. You got 20 people at the table, and every three guys orders a side. They order the mashed potatoes, they order the hash browns, they order the Brussels sprouts, they order the cream spinach. You're not getting it all. You may not want it all. Everything you want
Yeah.
is there. And when they make it into a TV show, they're gonna make it into a nice cheesesteak, and then it's just gonna be a nice sandwich. You got beginning, middle, and end. They're not gonna do the full spread.
Yeah, I would. If the movie rights are acquired, that'll be very interesting because I don't know how you cut this into a movie. That's crazy.
I don't know if they
But
make it.
I will say, as I was reading this, it reminded me of a couple different movies. Like this could have been maybe not 100% factual, but definitely based on fact. There was a lot of it that sounded familiar. So maybe the author like took things from the past or took things from what he heard about. It definitely, a lot of it sounded familiar, almost as if these events happened.
It's a lot.
Kind of similar to like, do you remember when we read the? Do you remember when we read Night of the Jackal, where they started off with the first chapter as like this actually happened, and then they developed the story off of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Day of the Jackal. This kind of seemed familiar, where this is like there seemed to be real aspects to this, and then they developed maybe a storyline around it.
I think it's the fictional. It's heavily pulled from the rise of El Chapo.
Yeah, I read that
Chapo
also. Aiden is supposed to be like based off of him. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like historical fiction, fictionalization, tall tale. Obviously, the Irish hitman who grew up in Hell's Kitchen, who goes to work with the DEA as a, black site hitman, isn't a true story. But
yeah, I don't know if you needed. I don't know if I needed that character in this story.
He's probably the weakest and the most tertiary. But there are some fun scenes. Let's just do a quick bio on the main four, and then we'll get into.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember how I led into this book that there is cinematic scene. It's the most cinematic scene I've ever read. And you said I'm going to try and figure it out.
I remember you asking if I could picture it out, so I want to get into that also.
Okay. So the four are Art Keller. He's DEA agent, becomes divorced in this job, is chasing down this cartel.
Yeah, he's a cop. He's a cop chasing down the bad guys and dealing with the internal bad guys of like politics between the DEA and the CIA and stuff like that. So yeah, he's your blue collar cop who's kind of up against everything.
Yeah, so there's
bending the rules, all that stuff.
Iran Contra, like background to this, which I don't. Mm-hmm. It's super confusing. It's like U.S. sold guns to the force against the Sandinistas, and they used the money to buy Israeli arms to sell to Iran to fight. It's a very complex, and I listened to a podcast about Iran Contra this week twice just to prepare for this, and I still don't really understand. It was during the Reagan administration, and we were like trafficking cocaine and selling guns or selling weapons to both Israeli missiles. But I don't know why they were selling to Iran. Go ahead.
The movie I come back to is it's with Tom Cruise. It's called he's the pilot who actually does all the drug running. It's a true story. American
made. I can look it up.
Yes. Yeah. American something I was gonna say. Yeah, American
I haven't seen it. I heard it's good.
Yeah, it pulled me into that also because that's specifically dealing with
Yes, it is American made.
It reminded me of that, and then in terms of like the DEA character reminded me a little bit of the show Narcos, of the DEA chasing down what's his name in South America. Whatever. Yeah, there you
go. So okay, he's the main guy. You open with him, you close with him. He's probably the main character. Adam Barea is his uncle, runs the cartel. It's mostly a trafficking operation. They grow it in Colombia. Mexicans traffic it into America, and he, throughout the course of the book, consolidates the trafficking from a split amongst three, like the Gulf, the Juarez, and then the Baja, and he consolidates it into one organization.
It's Godfather-esque. Godfather-esque. So he starts off. Yeah, he starts off at a lower position. Eventually, he takes over, and as he takes over, he integrates everything and forms one conglomerate as opposed to having it spread out. So yeah, very Godfather Part 1.
Yeah, and speaking of Godfather Part 1, his brother is the Sonny and he's the Michael, because his brother's like the hothead guy's gonna torture people and like
Yep.
lay bodies, and he's the guy who's the accountant. Nora Hayden, she's Southern California beach girl, very pretty, bad family, becomes a prostitute and gets entangled with I guess technically by the end of the book, all three of the male characters, but mostly she sees Sean Callan when he's 19. She becomes a mistress for Adam Barea,
All three.
and then she's an informant for Art Keller. Again, this is a discussion. These we'll talk spoilers.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like the female figure. There, she's close with the priest. And so, as we're explaining the book, you can see how expansive.
Yeah, he's a minor character, but a big character. Yeah.
And there's a whole thing about the priest.
Yeah, because the priest is a major character, but we're not even including him
for the first 2/3 of the book.
Yes.
And he's
and he's not even in the top 4.
Yeah. So it covers a lot. But here, so I'll get back to my steakhouse analogy. Just because there's 10 different sides on the table, and none of the sides are bad. You got the side of bacon. Do you need the side of bacon when you're at the steakhouse? No, but you'll order it because it's good. It's indulgent. This book is very indulgent.
I'm not disagreeing here. It was a lot. Was it over? No, it wasn't overwhelming. It was a lot though.
But it's not super long. It can't be more than 500 pages. It's probably low 4s.
I should know this. No, I'd say mid 5s. How much? Mid 5s?
Yeah, maybe. Not crazy.
Yeah. No, it felt like if you're going from chapter to chapter, it was quite a jump from one character to the other. Like very significant different stories that do all come together. Eventually there are links that bring them all together, but you have to fully commit to each character and their story. I mean, the whole thing with the hitman in New York, like we found out his entire life story leading up to being a hitman. And then the thing with him and like his girlfriend and the Italian mob and all.
He's like going to get out of life. He's going to become a carpenter.
Oh, yeah. Like that was a very deep, in-depth life story that we got on a character that I didn't think he was a major part.
He didn't marry this girl. And there's 2 chapters devoted to like their relationship. And then he's like, yeah, no, I'm back in.
But then you have his connection also to the Italian guy who actually works. I don't even know what his role is, but he's the CIA, I guess, ex-military guy.
He's supposed to be a Sal Saki or something like that, or Sakati or
right.
He was like Delta Force, or he was special ops.
Playing all the angles. He's involved in every bit of this story in a weird little way. Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't really know that much about him, which is kind of interesting.
No, they like every person had their own dealing with him. It seems like in their own way. Like Art knew about him through past history, military experience. Aiden knew him because he's involved in that kind of struggle that they have down there. Nora ended up knowing him because he's kind of a fixer, and he's involved, and he almost kills her, or he sends people to kill her.
Yeah.
So he's involved in every little piece of this,
and he's the 6th. He's like throughout the book.
What was the?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what was the scene? What was the scene that you were talking about? And give me an example first of what you were expecting it to be.
When I say cinematic, I don't necessarily mean I expected something and it's a huge change. I just mean like this is so cool and such a would be such a cool movie action scene like in Heat or like in The Town or like in any heist movie. It was when the drug money is going down Southern California, the Southern California highway, and Sean Callan rides up on the motorcycle, crashes the car, and robs the Berea money. But that's also like just a minor scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
I also think one that you could say
Yeah,
is
very
when
minor scene, but it led to
yeah, it led to Sean wanting to go after these guys because the cartel kills all his friends, kind of.
yeah, and then the girl gets involved also, but yeah.
While rereading it, I also
Yeah,
thought
that, I mean, even the scene once.
we're freezing a little bit. Let's see if it picks up.
Yeah, go ahead.
The scene when the old boss of the trafficking operation in Mexico gets stolen by Berea's hitman, like the male model hitman, and he kills her, chops her head off, and then also kills the kids. Is also like a very that's probably the darkest scene of the entire
That was
book.
the scene that I like. Yeah,
Upon
that's
rereading, I'm
one of the
like,
darkest scenes I've ever heard of.
yeah, those are probably, but it's a good, it's well
That
written.
whole that whole that whole sequence was very, very dark, especially with the kids too. Yeah, that was like sickeningly dark.
Yeah. But it
Yeah,
happens.
tons of action, good action, good action scenes in it. Um, the fight at the airport was probably nuts. The fight at the compound that kills Raul was probably nuts.
Yep.
The fight in the club or the restaurant
Yep.
where
When
the
Sean comes
Irish guy
in.
saves the two brothers is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
tons of action, tons of fight scenes all over this place.
So that's what I mean. That like even though it's a lot, I think it's a really fun read. It's not, like, it's not a slog. It's not a 560 page, which I just looked up. Biography about a Civil War general.
No, definitely not. It's just, yeah, it was. If this was a TV series, I think it's 4 seasons.
This first book is 4 seasons.
I think so. Like I'm thinking of there's several divisions where you could split this up where it's not necessarily a cliffhanger ending, but you have like several endings where something new could start. I mean, the book does travel a long period of time.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Aiden starts as a young guy and then gets old, and there are flashbacks also. There are flashbacks to Art Keller from years before also. Nora starts off as just like a young girl who's maybe 13 or 14 years old or 15 or 16 or something.
And then she's almost 30 at the end.
Yeah, and then she's so it travels a long time for each character too, because
she's a good character. Nora Hayden,
Art good, Aiden good, Priest good, Priest / Nora good.
Irish Hitman a little weak.
Yeah, I even liked the character of that woman who the woman who ended up getting her head chopped off or whatever. I even thought that character was cool.
What woman got her?
So she went from one drug lord to the other drug lord.
This is a very dark book.
She was. It's a great what?
It's a very dark book.
Yes. Yeah, extremely dark book. But I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Who got her head chopped off? Dark, cryptic, and I kind of looked into the title. The woman that you just said. She got her head chopped off and put in a box.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. T.O.'s
She was the waitress originally. First, with with Aiden's T.O.'s mistress, and then she switches over to the other guy and has 2 kids with him, and
yeah. Okay, you want to?
She was even a good character too. Rate it.
It is a little formulaic, where it's okay. Let me throw the best parts in from everything you know about Mexico. Like this book was written before Sicario, but from Sicario, from The Godfather, from good. It's every Mexican gangster movie thrown into a book,
Narcos. Yeah.
turned up to 11,
Yeah.
and then given to you over 560 pages. But I think it's like, hey, if you're going to turn it up to 11, this is the way to do it. I didn't feel like it slogged.
Did go all
I never
out
looked
on a lot of the pieces for it. Yeah.
I never felt like I don't want to pick up this book and keep reading.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you said you've read it now twice.
I loved it both times.
And you've read
I
it
really
twice
liked it both times. We're freezing a little bit. Let's get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if we're gonna list it, yeah. So I can't give this a high score as Hunt for Red October. I liked Hunt for Red October better, so this is like a 6.3 for me.
You are such a hard grader compared to me. You're gonna slap me through the computer if I grade it higher.
This is the first one I think we've really. I think this is the first one we're. I think this is the first one we've really had a difference on, like a major difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the same score as Gates of Fire. How about that? 9-4. There's one. I'm trying to find one that we were really split on. I like Blood and Thunder a lot more than you did. 4 difference. Okay. Super Bowl 60.
Yeah.
Thoughts? You apathetic? Were you won a good game and got that?
Yeah. Wasn't a game. I didn't have a cheering interest, I would say. I didn't hate one team. I didn't really like one team. The game itself, I thought, was good. Just if you like football and defensive struggle and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Didn't actually watch the whole thing. It wasn't enticing me enough to stay up for the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Especially because it just seemed. Were you watching it with your family? Were you watching it with your brothers-in-laws?
No, I didn't even ask to do that. 2 of them are in Boston. One is around here. So I missed most of the first half because I was putting my kids down to bed.
So
and I didn't really. I wish I didn't miss it, but there's no really way of avoiding that. So I just missed the first half and picked up from there. Caught up on highlights at the end of the night. I didn't think the Patriots were that good when the matchup was first determined.
Yeah, I mean, you missed
the Seahawks versus the Patriots. I was like,
I don't think they're bad either.
No, but I don't think they were tested enough to show that they belonged in the Super Bowl. They beat one team over 500 the regular season. They beat an injured Chargers team. They beat a poorly performing Texans team.
Yeah,
they beat Broncos without.
I was more surprised with how good the Seahawks were than I was surprised by how bad the Patriots were, if that makes sense. The Seahawks being a very, very surprising.
Yeah, they were probably the most underrated number one team in recent years.
Yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't true.
All right, we're losing a little bit with freezing. So
losing.
I like the book. Let's we'll figure out a book for next time, or do we have one? We're reading Teddy Roosevelt. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Lando, take it easy. We're gonna figure this out for next time. But until then, we'll see you in 2 weeks.